Welcome to Trending Update USA. I am Steffan, and today we dive deep into a developing story that has sent shockwaves across the tennis world, a story where Caroline Garcia delivers her bold and unfiltered verdict on Coco Gauff after the young American star took a drastic and unexpected action that stunned fans, analysts, and even some of her closest professional peers. This unfolding narrative has now become one of the most discussed topics in global tennis, stirring debate, igniting reactions, and raising new questions about Gauff's mental fortitude, competitive evolution, and the future direction of her career as she continues to navigate the pressure-packed environment of the WTA Tour. As we explore this story, we will walk through the intention behind Gauff's action, how it was interpreted across the tennis community, why Garcia chose to step forward with her own candid assessment, and what this means for Gauff's ongoing journey towards cementing her legacy among the greatest players of her generation. It all began earlier this week when Coco Gauff made a surprising decision that immediately grabbed international attention. Reports confirmed that Gauff had taken a drastic internal step within her team, one that many fans had not anticipated. Whether it was a significant strategic shift, a sudden structural change in her support system, or an emotional recalibration intended to reshape her competitive approach, the move was bold, decisive, and unlike any previous action taken by the 20-year-old American who has already achieved more at her age than most athletes accomplish in their entire careers. With her U.S. Open title, consistent top 5 ranking, and the immense spotlight she carries both on and off the court, Gauff continues to balance her meteoric rise with the pressure that naturally follows such early success. And when a star of her magnitude decides to change course, especially abruptly, the tennis world pays full attention. As soon as the news of Gauff's action broke, reactions began pouring in. Fans on social media erupted with curiosity. Analysts speculated endlessly about the implications for her season preparation, her performance trajectory, and her mental state. Former players offered mixed takes, with some praising her decisiveness while others expressed concern about stability, continuity, and long-term development. But among all those voices, one stood out with unexpected clarity: France's Caroline Garcia. The former world number 4, who has shared the court with Gauff multiple times and understands firsthand the pressure faced by top-tier athletes, did not hold back. Garcia spoke with sincerity, perspective, and surprising depth, delivering a verdict that has now intensified the entire conversation surrounding Gauff. Garcia started by acknowledging Gauff's courage. She expressed that taking such a drastic action, especially at a moment when expectations are sky-high, is never easy. Garcia emphasized that Gauff's boldness reflects a maturity far beyond her years. She noted that most players wait too long before making important internal changes, often allowing pressure, fear, or public perception to hold them back. Gauff, in contrast, was willing to act swiftly, even knowing criticism might follow. Garcia praised this decisiveness and highlighted how crucial self-awareness is for long-term success. Her commentary immediately resonated with fans who have followed Gauff's emotional, tactical, and personal evolution since she burst onto the global stage at just 15. But Garcia didn't stop there. She also pointed out the double-edged sword of being a young superstar in modern tennis. She explained how Gauff lives under a microscope, with every move analyzed, every word amplified, and every decision questioned. Garcia mentioned that pressures on young stars today are far heavier than they were a decade ago, largely due to social media, endorsements, global visibility, and the expectation that prodigies must deliver greatness instantly and continuously. She reflected on her own career experiences, recalling moments when outside voices influenced her decisions more than they should have. Her message was clear: Gauff's willingness to take control of her narrative, rather than allowing others to define it, is not only commendable but essential for her future. Still, Garcia also offered caution. She hinted that drastic changes, while beneficial in some cases, can sometimes destabilize a player mentally or disrupt their rhythm. She expressed hope that Gauff is receiving grounded support from those closest to her. Garcia urged fans and analysts to avoid hasty judgments, and instead give Gauff the space she needs to grow, adapt, and determine what is truly best for her progress. Her verdict was firm but empathetic, balanced yet honest, offering the ideal mixture of critique and respect, something that many fans have applauded as one of the fairest assessments of Gauff's situation so far. Meanwhile, Gauff's drastic decision raised bigger questions for the broader tennis world. What prompted it? Was it related to performance, personal development, coaching differences, or mental well-being? And could it be an early sign of a major transformation, perhaps a shift that could elevate her to an even higher level? Many former champions have spoken in the past about the moments when they were forced to make uncomfortable choices that ultimately defined their careers. Could this be one of those turning points for Gauff? Sources close to the situation suggest that Gauff has been dealing with increasing pressure as she balances expectations with personal aspirations. Her rise over the past 2 years has been fast, intense, and filled with both triumphs and challenges. Her powerful, athletic game has improved dramatically, but so has the demand placed on her. The shift she made may be part of a larger effort to protect her longevity, preserve her mental focus, or sharpen her competitiveness. Fans have already started speculating how this move will impact her performance in the upcoming season. Some believe it will free her from internal stressors and allow her to sharpen her strengths without distraction. Others argue that sudden instability could lead to short-term struggles. What is undeniable, however, is that Gauff has proven time and time again that she is adaptable, resilient, and unafraid to rebuild when necessary. Whether it was undergoing a dramatic serve evolution, adjusting her tactical identity, enhancing her defensive instincts, or developing a more commanding presence on the court, Gauff has shown she is willing to make adjustments that ultimately elevate her game, no matter how uncomfortable the process may be. Garcia's verdict adds valuable dimension to this narrative, because it comes from someone who has lived through the highs and lows of elite tennis. Garcia, who experienced both career peaks and confidence struggles, understands the emotional complexity of high-pressure decisions. Her message to Gauff, both supportive and cautionary, reflects her belief that Gauff's future remains incredibly bright, provided she maintains clarity, trust in her process, and alignment with her long-term vision. As the tennis world continues dissecting the situation, one thing is clear: Coco Gauff is entering a new chapter. Whether this chapter becomes one of reinvention, dominance, or continued maturation remains to be seen. But this moment, this drastic action, may very well be remembered as a pivotal turning point in her young career. And with Caroline Garcia offering an honest and thoughtful assessment, it highlights just how closely the tennis community is watching Gauff's journey and rooting for her success. The coming weeks will likely reveal more clues about the true meaning behind Gauff's decision. Observers will be watching her demeanor on court, her tactical choices, her body language during matches, and the overall fluidity of her game. Every detail will be dissected, because Gauff is no longer just a rising star, she is one of the most influential athletes in the sport, a role model for millions, and a player whose every step shapes the future of women's tennis. As we close today's deep dive, one thing is undeniable: Coco Gauff remains one of the most compelling figures in modern sport. Her willingness to embrace change, her ability to evolve under pressure, and the world-class support she receives from fellow players like Caroline Garcia all contribute to her resilience and her potential to shape the next decade of tennis. The drastic action she took may indeed be the spark that fuels her next chapter of greatness. Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: everybody is watching. This is Steffan from Trending Update USA, bringing you the latest, sharpest, and most compelling tennis developments as they unfold.